Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about a potential upcoming tropical storm in the Gulf of Mexico. Models show a potential tropical storm, so named, if this were to form, it would become Arlene, and they do show it being a land threat. So without further ado, let's get started. So we're going to start looking at the GFS to start with this video out, sorry. Anyway, so basically, next 48 hours, we have a front that comes through, brings a lot of rain across the southeast. Nothing much, a low comes off the coast of the eastern seaboard off the Carolinas. A little bit of circulation there, but that is definitely not a tropical threat. And by the way, just to keep in mind that this is still uncertain, it's been on and off. We have a little more solidification in the forecast and consistency in models recently, but it's still something to take with a grain of salt. Anyway, so Tuesday next week, around 12th April 11th, we do see a low pressure starting to get its act together in the Atlantic. It comes off Texas and Louisiana border area around late Monday, April 10th, early week next week. And then the low starts to produce heavy rain. And yeah, the low moves from off the coast of Florida, not making landfall there, of course. It doesn't hit there. But then it goes all the way up to the Florida Panhandle, like Western Florida Panhandle, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana region, bringing a lot of heavy rain from southern Florida all the way down, up to the Gulf Coast. So basically, yeah, so it's a large system, of course. We see it's getting act together, and around a tropical storm making landfall on the Alabama-Mississippi border, heavy rain, and then it starts to bring heavy rain to the outskirts, like the Florida Panhandle, and then it starts to go northeast towards the Florida Panhandle, and then it goes up and brings some heavy rain to the region, and then nothing really for the rest of the period. But of course, we wouldn't really be covering that anyway, as it would be too far out. Now, if we compare this to 12Z, we do see that they were showing much less of a system, and it was kind of going to go in a more western track, so it's traveled east. It went from around off the coast of Florida, like the east coast of Florida, to the Florida Panhandle, to New Orleans, back to Mobile, Alabama, at a landfall spot. So yeah, it's been going all over the place recently. But in a bit, I'll show you ensembles, which will clear this up a bit. So we're gonna stay in 18D, but then again, like 12Z, here it is. And now we're gonna go to the Z850 vorticity. So basically, we do look around 90 hours, nothing yet, but then we do see that circulation in the Gulf makes landfall Alabama, Mississippi border, and then the circulation calms down and it travels northeast, sorry. And then we're only gonna look at that vorticity for the new model run. I was just gonna show you how it compared to the previous. I'm not going to do that for any other models. Just to give you guys an idea. So we do see large offshore winds, kind of a Fujiwara effect, but still a tropical storm nonetheless. Tropical storm force winds for a large swath of area. Now, of course, it doesn't show any of that on the coast. But then again, GFS does overestimate land friction. I've said that a lot. So we could see tropical storm force winds over a wide swath of area. And that is really in the oranges. But really, if the highest chance for tropical storm force winds will be confined to the landfall spot on land, most likely. Now, if we look at 850 MB winds, which is what we're going to use for wind gusts, we do see a large swath of tropical storm gusts out into Florida, then up north, and then, of course, that moves on. And, of course, significant wave height, we're going to look. We do see some strong waves from that system there up to 15 feet. So yeah, that's really it for GFS. Now we're going to move into ECMWF, where we do see, it's a little bit of a different solution. We do see that the system, of course, starts to get its act together in the Gulf, but it makes landfall in the Florida Panhandle, which actually I will show you the old one there. It made a similar thing in 0Z, except first it went to Louisiana, and it was a little more westward. Now it's just going directly to Florida. It doesn't really make landfall in Louisiana anymore. And yeah, so the center is definitely more east, and we do see some good circulation over landfall near Apalachicola. It's a tropical storm, I'm assuming. So yeah, tropical storm there. or maybe tropical depression. Either way, still a tropical cyclone nonetheless. And if we look at 850 MB, we do definitely see tropical storm force winds. And yeah, significant wave height, high waves, especially off the East Coast due to far-reaching winds, up to 13 feet off the East Coast and 11 feet off the Gulf Coast. And actually, we're going to go back to GFS now. I'm going to show you the rainfall, total accumulated precip. From the system, we could see up to half an inch to maybe 2 inches of rain, depending on where you are from the system, from Louisiana, Mobile, all the way to southern Florida. Now, ECMWF total rainfall, we're really going to be seeing around, around a half inch to maybe even 2 to 5 inches, especially near that landfall spot near Apalachicola and into the Florida Panhandle. So definitely rain would be the main threat. Now we're going to go to CMC Canadian model, which does not really get an act together. It doesn't really show it. So nothing really to see there, but do heavy rain. And it does show SART. And then NavGam doesn't show anything much. And neither does Icon. But we are going to actually look at the 12Z for Icon. And yeah, it actually does show something, but more for Louisiana. There might be going a little too bit west on that. And yeah, kind of like a tropical depression, tropical storm. And yeah, nothing much for that. So yeah, CMC, now I've got my Icon not really showing anything. ECMWF and CMC are really the only things showing it. We're going to go to the ocean analysis. We see we're at a negative 0.085. And we're going to go into the Western Atlantic, where we do see 24 to 27 degrees Celsius in the Gulf of Mexico. Not very favorable, but definitely we can have some systems like that in cold waters. Now we're going to look at the ensembles. We're going to start with the GFS version 12, where we don't really see anything but for the meantime. But when the system starts to form, we do see most of the ensembles go more eastward into the Florida Panhandle. 980 to 999 millibars for a lot of these. So definitely a tropical storm into the Florida Panhandle for most of these, and even to Mobile and the Gulfport regions. But definitely more eastward Florida area where we could see a tropical storm. If we look at the average, we're actually just going to look at the total precipitation to start with. We definitely do see, they do show some rain, but you can't really see it because ensembles are not very good with precipitation. If we look at the 850 wind control, actually, it's more accurate. We do see not much, but we do see some kind of low pressure system bring wind. We see those 52 knots in the Florida Panhandle there. And I'm saying this one region a lot due to the fact that a lot of ensembles are going there. But nothing really much to see. The center is kind of large, not very compact. And MSLP, nothing really there either. And finally, we are going to look at the cyclone locations, which, yeah, nothing really much there. And mainly because that's 12Z, but that is the best we can do right now. So nothing much to see there. So now we are going to go back to the SpaghettiOs, which is what we call this parameter. And we're going to go to 12Z, where they are way more confident in the EPS, a tropical storm getting on the Florida Panhandle. And yeah. And if we go back, we're going to see, we're going to go to tropical storm, the probability of that. There we go. Nothing really, but then again, they're not very confident right now, so yeah. And if we go to tropical depression, chance of tropical depression, we do see some probabilities, but not much. But then again, these are 24-hour periods, so there could be higher outside of these periods, higher probabilities. And finally, we're going to look at the control MSLP, which we do see around a 1001 millibar system hitting around the Panama City region. And yeah, that's really going to do it for this video, guys. Sorry if I wasn't very lively, I hope, or a little slow for you guys. I hope I explained it in detail, and that's going to be it. Just take this with a grain of salt, but I'll keep you updated. Anyway, bye, guys.